Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of TJacks Unpacks. But this time, it's going to be a little bit different. And that is because there is so much going on in the world right now that I thought it'd be better to tackle a few of the most important topics happening right now in media, rather than taking a long time to delve into one singular topic. But don't fret, do not worry. I will still be doing the longer form breakdowns of individual topics. But like I said, there's just so much going on. And to help me break down some of what is going on in the world, we have our first ever two-time guest. We have Heather. How are you doing today, Heather?
I'm good. Welcome. I'm happy to be back here on the podcast. I was your first guest on, your old podcast, your first guest on this podcast, and I'm back again.
Everyone just needs to hear what you have to say. So I'm excited to have you back. So guys, today there was a lot we discussed leading into this show in terms of what to actually break down. So some of the things that did not make this episode. So a judge blocked the Texas gerrymandering map. So that is a huge blow to Trump and the conservatives. The Saudi prince also visited, and there was an interaction between a journalist. And it has been proven through U.S. intelligence that this prince had a journalist, but that didn't even hit the cutting room floor. There was I know, guys, we are living in crazy times. There was an insane voicemail that was set to Gretchen Whitmer that I encourage you guys to take a look at. We were considering reacting to that. Katie Wilson over in Seattle. She is a self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist. She has one in Seattle, so I would read up on her, but that didn't make the floor either. We considered talking about Schumer and Jeffries. There is a primary candidate up for that, but didn't cover that as well. And then also, there are drone strikes, guys, happening. And there is no evidence of any criminality before these drone strikes are happening. So basically, the U.S. government just people. I don't know, but
that's just for funsies.
Yeah, I don't know, but that didn't make the cutting room floor either. So the 5 stories we will actually be discussing today, guys. We got the Epstein Files, so the latest on that. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump in a feud. We're going to talk a little bit about the USAID or USAID cuts because there's some new research and data about the impact on that. We have Trump and his Miss Piggy comments. And then last but not least, we're going to take some time to really just discuss celebrity culture and politics because some celebrities recently, Pat McAfee, Pharrell, Nicki Minaj speaking, and just talk a little bit about celebrity culture and that cross section with politics. But first, we're going to jump into the Epstein Files. So Heather, before we get into too many specifics here, what's going on with Epstein? I am just, what is going on?
I don't know if you've read through any of the emails, but one, I don't understand just why middle-aged men are just like corresponding over email the way that they were. And Grant, I mean, to think this was like 10, 15 years ago. I mean, email threads and, not putting anything you want, pulled up in court and written. I think it's understood for quite a while.
Right. It's like, I know we're both true crime junkies. So it's like people who committed crimes before they knew that DNA, and then DNA came out. So they're trying to send these emails without either being just ignorant to the situation, not understanding.
Or thinking they're above the law, which is probably, you have the money. You don't really think that no one's ever going to subpoena your emails.
And I think, Heather, I think you hit the, I think the biggest thing with this story is how these elites, because it's more than Trump. Have some of the highest, richest, wealthiest people in the world involved in this. And I think it just really speaks to how they're just above the law. It is so
exactly.
And I think that's why this is taking such hold. It's the disgusting, obviously, pedophilia that's happening. But it's also the fact that how are people not held accountable for this? Yes. And the fact that the president of the United States is involved in this, and it
heavily involved in this.
Heavily. If you guys go through the emails, I want to look it up exactly, and I don't know if you have the number, but how many times he was mentioned in the files. I'm going to look that up right now, but I think the number was in the thousands, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, about 1,600 times he is mentioned in the files. But also, guys, like, it just tracks with his behavior. So, you know, it's not like he's been an upstanding guy throughout. Like, remember that Access Hollywood? That's how he broke in. Like, so
I mean, and you have to keep in mind that video clip came out and he was still elected president.
Yeah. And it's just crazy because it seems like we have a lower expectation for the president than we do for like any other citizen in society, when the inverse should be true. But I think that has to do with a little bit of the cult-like following he's developed, where he's, I don't know, there's just like 30% of the population who just believes he can do no wrong no matter what he does.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, we know that he's a racist. He was found liable, you know, in the case a couple of years ago. He's evidently all over the files. I mean, there's birthday cards written to Jeffrey Epstein, but then he claims we were never friends. Like, we weren't that close. I don't know about you, but I don't give handwritten or hand-drawn birthday cards to people I'm not close to.
Nope. And I just think, like, people, if you guys still think Trump is innocent, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're just so siloed off that you're not accepting the reality of what is happening. Because, guys, if it wasn't Trump and you aligned all this evidence up, you would obviously be like, yeah, that person at a bare minimum is a creeper, right? That's at a bare minimum where you would start. But yeah. Now I want to move forward to like what's happening now. Like, what are the latest updates? So it has passed the House. It has passed the Senate. It was sent to Trump's desk to sign. And at last last update here, Pam Bondi. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. The AG, she said that the Department of Justice is going to make it the files fully public within 30 days. But here's the caveat. I'm sure most of us who are following this are not surprised. She said that there will be major parts withheld from the release, including like citing active investigations. And now something I do agree with is the identity of certain victims obviously should be hidden because, guys, they were children when this happened. And in general, if they weren't, like, there's no need to put the victims' names out there, particularly if they don't want to be out there. Like, but Heather, what's your reaction to this? What do you think it's going to look like when they do fully release the files? Like, what do you think it's actually going to look like?
I think it's going to suspiciously be pointed more at the Democrats. They are going to highlight the Democrats or people that are not necessarily associated with Trump and MAGA America or MAGA Republicans, and kind of twist the narrative to be more of, well, you know, you support these people and they're the ones that are creeps, while Trump is suspiciously going to be very limited in the exposure of the files.
Yeah, and you know what and you know the weird part with that, and I'm sure you agree with this, or I'd be interested if you agree. I hope you agree. I don't care if there's Democrats in there. Put all
we don't worship for politicians the way that people worship Donald Trump.
No, like
I'm not going to have to go like burn my Bill Clinton, you know, memorabilia.
Look, if Bernie's saying, he's not, but if he's in those files, screw him and send him to jail. Like, I don't understand why people can't just be like, if you commit this crime, you should be put in jail.
I want the people in the files to be publicly, you know, announced and then publicly held accountable for what they did to innocent victims, innocent children, innocent women.
Heather, that's a hot take, though. That's controversial, apparently, now. And I think that's going to lead us to, I'm about to play a clip from Megyn Kelly. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. It has basically gone viral for all the wrong reasons, but this is her defending somewhat Jeffrey Epstein and what is going on with this whole Epstein Files situation.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like, he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
All right, so that is the clip that has taken the internet by storm. Heather, reactions to Megyn Kelly.
You know, I don't know if Megyn Kelly has children. She may, she might not.
I believe she has a 14-year-old.
14-year-old daughter or 14-year-old son?
I think it's a daughter.
Oh, okay. So I would like just Megyn Kelly to just think about her daughter in this situation. And
so she has three. She has three children. One was born in 2009, 2011, and 2013. So
okay, so they're all preteens, teenagers.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would just, if her children were in the situation with Epstein, for her to say that he was not a pedophile because he was not into 8-year-olds, he was into the barely legal type. At 15 or 14 or however old, you are a child. You cannot go see an R-rated movie. You can't drive. You have to rely on your parents for everything. 15-year-olds, some are still going through puberty. Like, it just, and for her as a mother to say that with all of her might, just absolutely astounds me. Like,
I think that end part, the fact that those words came out makes me think there's just no shame left in so many of the people who like it's gross enough to think that, right? But then for those words to you realize you're on a mic with a huge, Megyn Kelly is huge.
Yes.
Like she has to think that those words coming out were okay and those thoughts were okay to the point she would share that to me is the point
fully
where
believe it.
Yeah, that just must be what it is. And I guess for me, I'm just so ignorant to the fact people like that exist that is okay.
And to fully defend this man for not going after 8-year-olds. Okay, an 8-year-old is a child. A 15-year-old, however old, is still a child. It's not okay. It's still 100% illegal.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know if you've seen a lot of this, but Megyn Kelly hasn't been the only one to kind of start going down this trail. I've seen a few podcasts, like Dean, I don't know his last name. I don't follow, he gets in some of the, but he had someone basically call in and ask why is it bad to rape children? That was the question. And it's just we are devolving so far. And I think a lot of it is the lack of shame, but also just the blind allegiance to certain people. So no matter what in the world they do, you will twist yourself in a pretzel to defend it.
When you now just think it's okay.
Right.
Nothing's been done up to this point. So it's okay, well, now I'm going to come out and support. Well, nothing's happened to everyone else. So why shouldn't I just say speak my truth?
Yeah, my hope from this is I hope, I don't know, I don't agree it will be the end of Megyn Kelly's career because people say bile crap all the time and they're
I think her career has ended 3 times now and she just
exactly. But I do think the internet was pretty staunch against this. They're the ones I talked about were more I think anecdotal stories. I think in general what you see with the public is people hate what's going on with this. But the fact there are enough percentage of people who say things like Megyn Kelly says, who call into, different shows and try to defend this, to me is abhorrent. And it speaks, like I said, to the lack of shame. We need to bring shame back. We
need to publicly start shaming people. I don't know when that ended or why it ended, but I'm full shame in 2026.
Right. And that is not to the point of silencing voices, but there's some things in voices that do not need to be in the public sphere. Point blank. It's not productive and it's counterproductive to a good functioning society. So I don't think every form of speech should be platformed and out there.
No.
But guys, we will continue to update on those files as they continue to leak information. We will see how much they send out, but I think both of our stances are pretty clear. And I think most of America is in agreement with this. If you participate in criminality, you should be going to jail. I don't really care what your status is. That is why Lady Justice is supposed to be blind. It's because theoretically, we know it doesn't work in the United States, but it's supposed to be applied. Justice is supposed to be applied evenly and equally. But that leaves us, all of the Epstein stuff has actually led us into story number 2 with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. So there has been some catfighting between the two. Basically, Marjorie Taylor Greene going after Trump for a variety of things, most notably like affordability, healthcare, things like that, saying it's not a good idea to ignore that. And then Trump and the Epstein Files, and then Trump kind of coming back at her and pulling his support. So, Heather, have you been following this? What is your take on this? More catfight drama.
I followed it enough that the other day at work, I looked up to the TV on CNN and saw that the headline Marjorie Taylor Brown, because Marjorie Taylor Brown, because when grass rots, it turns brown.
I'm gonna pull that exact quote up. Yes, I was like, he's lost the touch. Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes his nicknames are kind of good. I'm like, that's kind of catchy. This one, I'm like, dude, you're done. You're cooked.
I mean, Sleepy Joe to Marjorie Taylor Brown, like, and his reasoning is like, well, when grass is green and it rots, it turns brown. Like,
and he put it in like parentheses. It's just
like, ramblings. And he really thought like he did something. He was like, oh, she's gonna get that one.
And then I don't know too if you've heard of a lot of the background to this. So apparently, where a lot of this started was Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to run for Senate in Georgia, because obviously senators have more power because there's less of them versus the House. So she was trying to run for Senate, but she didn't get Trump's full endorsement. And the way people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump and most politicians work is they're very self-interested. So they don't really have principled policies. Like, they don't believe in much other than power, wealth, right?
They just kind of gravitate towards whatever's popular at the moment.
Exactly. And one of the things I will admit is I think I may have underestimated Marjorie Taylor Greene in the basic level that she can read polling. Okay, like anyone can do. And what she is realizing is this MAGA stuff is down. It is fading. It is fading fast. I just saw a recent poll that the Democrats, if elections were held today, the margin between who would vote Democrat versus Republican is the biggest it's been in like 2 decades. Yeah. So what she sees, to her credit, is also the writing on the wall, and she knows she needs to be reelected. So if she keeps going down this MAGA dumpster fire, she knows she is not going to be elected. So I guess a little credit to her for being, I admit when I am wrong. I'm not going to sit up here
it's just kind of crazy that this is the same woman who thought that we were shooting lasers into space to control the weather.
Yes, no, I want to be clear. And I saw this on social media, and this is so beautiful. And it goes the same thing with anyone who you're going to see start flip-flopping. It's not we as like progressives agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is sometimes agreeing with us. She is like, and she is not agreeing from like an act. I do not believe she is doing this from an actual like caring position. She is doing it as a political tactic to, position herself, in my opinion, honestly, for a presidential run in 2028. What are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, I agree that that's what her thought and plan is. But I don't think, regardless of whatever woman is going to run for president, I don't think this country is ready for a woman president. Michelle Obama just had the same comment this past weekend that, she's been asked numerous times, are you going to run for president? Are you going to have, a political career? And she said, straight up that this country is nowhere near ready for a female president.
Do you agree with that?
Unfortunately, I do.
Because my only slight pushback is I would have said the country wasn't ready for a black president, and then we did elect a black president. So that is my only slight pushback. And I wish to, like, Hillary Clinton, I don't know if you agree or disagree, and that's, but I thought Hillary Clinton was a terrible candidate, regardless. So I think that was just, I don't think we had.
Maybe I take it back. I think we need to find the ideal, perfect female potential candidate. We can't just throw, unfortunately, yes, I voted for Kamala. She was thrown into a very terrible, situation, given, 107 days or whatever it was to run.
Yeah.
So she did not get a full opportunity. and coming off of his, Biden's VP, a lot of his downfalls kind of then fell onto her. So
yeah, no, 100%. Like, I think the most recent election is at the feet of Biden. When he ran on the platform of being a transitional candidate because, dude, you're old as hell. Yeah, we're not going to reelect, like, you're ancient. Like, and that's the thing, once again, we're not cult-like following. Dude was stumbling into the Amazon rainforest. Like, he was not, no, he was gone. I don't, like...
Yes.
So for him to then try to rerun rather than literally immediately after he was elected and beat Trump, they should have been planning for the next candidate.
Yes.
But instead he selfishly, and honestly, I blame also like his loved ones around him. Like if my wife becomes president and she is stumbling like all over the place, has cancer, and then she's talking about running. No, like
his team let him do that debate that was far earlier than any past debates where he just completely fumbled and lost the debate.
Yeah,
and that was, sent, his party into an absolute downfall.
Right. And like circling this back to like president in 2028 and maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the things that I'm legitimately worried about, and I could be too paranoid, so you need to check me if I am. I think she may outflank Democrats to the left. And what I mean by that is she will put up a facade of like affordable health care, right? Like she will speak to those things. And because like no one on the Republican side actually does any of that, if she actually pushes that like button and moves on it, I think she could actually gain a level of popularity. Now, people like me and you have an understanding of her background and like, I don't want to say I would never vote for her because I don't know who the other person would like. I don't like speaking in absolutes, but like it would take some crazy situation for me to vote for her. But my fear is like she's going to outflank Democrats on the left with progressive policies, but she's going to hoodwink it and not actually.
Yeah, she's going to do a bait and switch.
Do you think that's like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. And I think if she continues on this path that she's on currently, that she's going to gain a lot of, sympathetic supporters. And that, come, election season, midterms, see how things are shaping up, 26 going into 27, that it could be, an interesting, story we see unfold in 28.
For sure. All right, guys. So we're going to take a quick break, and then coming back, we're going to talk about the USAID cuts, Miss Piggy comments from Belvita Voldemort, and then we're going to talk a little bit about celebrity culture in politics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TJacks Unpacks. We are going to jump next into the USAID cuts. And I'm going to pull up a dashboard for you guys right here. So this is an impact metrics dashboard. I want to shout out Heather. Thank you for sending this to me. I had done my own research, but I actually hadn't seen this. So what you guys are seeing right now is this is a live tracker of deaths that were caused by the funding discontinuation. And one of the things, guys, you can really note at the top is most of the deaths from these political decisions to stop funding are children. So, Heather, I just wanted to throw it to you, your reaction.
Yeah, let me pull it up here myself. But, I mean, the statistics at the top, the deaths caused by funding discontinuation. Adult deaths, 204,554, compared to child deaths at 425,419. More than double the amount of adult deaths. Children are dying at insane amounts, and they're not even getting a chance, to grow up, to have a chance to, to do anything with their lives. And the same people that are, the ones saying, well, why are we supporting, other countries? Your own country is not supporting you. So, where is this funding going? The funding that's been cut, where is it being then reallocated?
No, I've never even thought. I laugh. Yeah, our own country doesn't help us. We help Israel more than we help us. Israel has universal health care, and we send them a whole bunch of money. So our own government doesn't help us. So to your point, if our money can at least go to making sure that preventable deaths, 400,000 kids, guys, because we just don't want to send food or proper medical care when we have the resources. I think there's a misconception that like if we help other countries, we don't help ourselves. Like Heather said, guys, we aren't helping ourselves anyway. And secondly, we could help ourselves and help other countries because we are the richest country in the world. And furthermore, a lot of the ways we got there was from exploiting other countries. And that led to our wealth. So to then turn our back and let 400,000 kids die because we don't want to, like, because we don't care and we don't think we can help when we could is just appalling to me. And I wanted to also get into some more data here. So this is a peer-reviewed study here from the Lancet, and it modeled the impact of deep cuts to USAID funding. And the research shows that this cut in funding could lead to more than 14 million additional deaths by 2030. And more than 4.5 million of those are projected to be kids under the age of 5. So it's just people, and often the wealthiest people amongst us, making active decisions for people to just struggle, not only in this country, but abroad. And yeah, Heather, any other,
and
there's no real positives to this. So
there was an article from the New Yorker that I read. Let me see, it was published, I believe, the beginning of this month. But there was a statistic that was cited in there that as of November 5th, it is estimated that USAID's dismantling has already caused the deaths of 600,000 people, 2/3 of them being children. But with that large death rate already, it will continue to grow. And unfortunately, the losses are going to be harder to see. They're not going to be, because of a war, ravaging, the country. They unfold slowly. HIV, tuberculosis, they go untested, unprevented, and, inadequately treated for months and years. And, months or years can pass before that person dies. So the deaths that we're seeing, like, immediately, they're only going to grow and grow over the next, couple months, couple years, if further help, is to continue to be discontinued.
Right, because HIV, those things will continue to spread if they go untreated, right? And so it's an exponential factor. It's not linear. It's going to get worse and worse if the funding is continued to be cut. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, it's the same is true for deaths that are, have preventable vaccines that could be administered. So, I mean, we're literally just telling, whole countries and communities, well, sucks to suck, but you're going to die and it's inevitable. So.
Right. And the last thing I want to, once again, I know I've said this a few times, reemphasize, it's not like this money is being taken from hungry kids in the United States. Guys, the whole conservative party doesn't want to feed kids in school, basically. So that's not even what's happening. There's just a decision largely through greed because the richest people want to hoard all of the wealth and all of the resources, that they don't want to send vaccines to prevent HIV in certain places, that they don't want to send, preventative treatment for tuberculosis. They will let food that has already been purchased rot away rather than send it.
Just think about that. Food that is perfectly fine, that has been set aside and allocated for a certain reason, and they're just saying, well, we're going to toss it because we're not sending it anymore. You're just going to throw away perfectly good medicine, food,
our tax money, our tax money. I would assume most people, hopefully, would at least want it to go to something, even if you disagree, rather than literally taking your tax money and throwing it in the garbage. I would at least hope that. But yeah, there's really no bright sides to this story, guys. It's just these impacts that these politicians have or make, and they seem like they don't touch us. Guys, we live in a world. And these, literally, these decisions are killing people, and mostly children. And that's what's happening here.
It's not like, bad people are being affected. It's literally just innocent civilians and children, people that are just trying to live.
Exactly. People are trying to start their life, right? Yes, children under the age of 5. All right. So moving on, there's no good transition to, from that. But the next story we wanted to talk about, if he wasn't the president, I may no, I wouldn't. I don't I'm just it's Trump.
Imagine you're at work and you disagree with something that your boss says. If I responded to my boss the way that he responded to this Bloomberg White House correspondent,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have a job.
Yeah, and if you guys have not seen it or not know what we're talking about, we are talking about Trump and his Miss Piggy comment. So let's play the clip now.
Hanging in the file, Venezuela, sir.
Quiet.
Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of.
All right, so after watching that, yeah, that is just, not only is that behavior unacceptable for just anyone, like when my child starts to be able to talk, if he does that, I would be mortified. The fact that like this behavior is just accepted from our president of the United States, and like he does things like this all the time, and you'll have Fox News being like, ha ha ha, let's just defend him, and people on X just making excuses for this behavior, and it's just like absolutely abhorrent. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and again, to kind of go along with it, he said this in front of multiple other journalists and correspondents, and not a single person spoke up to say, hey, that's not okay.
Doesn't that exact thing summarize the entire Trump reign? It's him doing abhorrent things and everyone staying quiet as he does those abhorrent things.
And I don't understand, why is nobody pushing against it? What's going to happen? He's going to threaten to take away your journalist pass or fine your network?
Well, I will say it's not easy in that moment because you're probably you shouldn't be shocked. You should expect that behavior. But B, what has happened too much is people care more about protecting themselves. So they don't want their press revoked. They don't want to be fired. So they're ostensibly not okay with it, but if it means my potential livelihood versus this person getting verbally assaulted while working, I'm going to pick the door. Unfortunately, that's just where I have seen that lead to this is people pick that door time and time again. It's and that is why I think our society right now, our country is just failing. Is time and time again, people are picking the door of, oh, I'm going to do what I need to do for me and take care of me. And I will let everything crumble around me and let everything fall apart. And I think this moment and people not speaking up just encapsulates that so well.
True. No, but I do think that it's not ironic, but the fact that he lashed out as she was asking, about the Epstein Files and what's going to be incriminating in there, and the fact that he's lashing out at a woman because it's never been more clear that Trump does not respect women. He does not like women. He views them as much further down on he doesn't care. I don't think he would openly speak as often negatively at male journalists or correspondents the way he does to women.
If they were male journalists of color, potentially. But potentially. But no, his history of quotes talking about grab them by the you-know-what, walking into, Miss US. He has, I think it's 28 sexual assault allegations too. So there's just a long history of him not, respecting women at all. And, you can't, we can't move on without discussing the irony of him calling someone a piggy when he is not, and he doesn't look like Shamar Moore or The Rock or John Cena. Last time I checked.
I mean, he doesn't even look like a hot 70-year-old. He's not Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's not the silver fox look or anything like that.
No, Dick Van Dyke's about to turn 100, and this man looks better than Trump does.
It's just the irony of that too. But big picture, it's just, guys, people are at their work. She was at trying to do her job, and she was asking a legitimate question because that's what journalists guys are also supposed to do. They're supposed to ask questions that are going to, quite frankly, piss off politicians because you're supposed to hold them accountable. You're not supposed to go up and stroke their ego so they'll come back on your show. You, in fact, should probably do an interview to the point oh, I know they're not coming back because I'm going to ask the questions that need to be asked. I think shout out to that journalist. I don't have her name, Heather. I don't know if you have her name, but
yes, it is. Hold on, it is Bloomberg. Hold on, we have it up right here.
Yeah, but why are you looking that up?
Catherine Lucy, Bloomberg's White House correspondent.
So I just want to shout her out, and I'll pull up a picture of her as well. But just the professionalism there, just I cannot imagine, like, there is a level of difficulty going up to this insane president and having the cojones just to be like, no, I'm asking this. I know it's going to upset you. And then when you insult me verbally, I'm just going to hold my professionalism and be a bigger person than, unfortunately, the president of the United States. And another thing, Heather, I know we talked about this a little bit. One of the things I strongly push back against is the idea that the president's behavior does not matter. Because, guys, young people, kids, like everyone is observing that, and kids learn through what they see. So when they see literally the biggest position in the whole country can treat women that way, then why should kids
and get away with it without repercussion?
Right. So internally, kids are, why should I treat a woman any differently than this person does? Because he's supposed to be the best we have to offer. Right. He's like the leader of this country. So, guys, the behavior of presidents, public figures, it 100% matters. Kids are seeing it. They're internalizing it, and they're seeing society operates that way, and they're therefore acting in those same manners. So the idea that the president's behavior doesn't matter is just flat out insanity. I don't.
Yeah, I know you just said all this, but I really would love someone at like a White House press briefing to tell Caroline Leavitt, quiet Miss Piggy, just one time, and then that's it, and then we kill it. But she's awful.
I think the volcanic rage. I think the cross on her neck would implode, and then I think she would volcanic red face all over the place.
I saw a meme earlier about her, and I have to see if I still can find it, because it was in relation. Yeah, going back to our Megyn Kelly, discussion. Defending child predators.
Before you jump into this, we've had Megyn Kelly say, 15-year-olds are it's fine. They're not 8. We've had just the Epstein Files in general. We've had a potential Marjorie Taylor Greene run for presidency. We've had USAID cuts lead to the deaths of 400,000 plus children. And then we have the president berating a female reporter. So that's the state of the country. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just a meme, and it's a picture of Caroline Leavitt. It says, defending child predators must be easy when your husband was 32 years old on the day you were born.
That is very true. Now, I will say, I don't want to, I want to stick to the facts. I don't know if there was anything, but I don't think there was anything there.
I don't think so, but
okay.
I don't know. Strange. As a 32-year-old woman myself, the thought that I may have to wait, 20-something years to meet my future husband.
To find your
he's just not born yet. I just gotta wait some time.
It's a little big age difference for me. Not my cup of tea, but as long as it was legal, it was legal. But a little. Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. But ultimately, guys, just abhorrent comment. I think I could probably do an episode every day about something he says that is just completely inappropriate. And
don't worry, I'm sure somebody will I'm sure someone on Gavin Newsom's team is compiling all the Trump's.
I am not the biggest Gavin Newsom fan in terms of his policies. If you look at what's happening with homelessness in California, he's failed that miserably, but he is killing the social media game.
His Gen Z social media manager is on top of it.
Whatever.
She's just give me your password. You don't need to approve. I got it.
Whatever she's getting paid, or he or the team, they need a raise. I don't care. Yes. It needs to be more.
It's so on the nose.
Right.
It's so good.
He's definitely not my favorite, but I think he's probably going to be the president in 2020. That's safe for another episode. That can be safe. So, all right. Last thing, Heather, I want you. This is the final story. I know we've talked about this a lot. I want you to introduce this story. I know you're knuckle cracking and getting ready, but it is about celebrities and kind of the cross section with politics. So go ahead. I know you have some hot takes.
Well, if you know me, you know that pop culture, celebrity culture, it's my bread and butter. I find it so fascinating. So then when, celebrities just feel the need to just stick their noses and say things about politics, it makes you wonder. Fortunately, I somehow had missed the whole Pat McAfee.
Okay, so do you want me to share what that was about?
I got the gist, but if you kind of want to set it up to make sure that I have the correct.
So basically, he had Trump on to do an interview, and like a lot of that's basically
On
it. And
Veterans
like
Day.
yes, and then some people are like super upset with platforming him. My take on it is like, if you can get that interview, you get the interview, but then what you do with the interview is the problem. Like, what are you doing? Like, if I can get an interview with Trump, to turn that down is, in my opinion, stupid.
Yeah.
You have a chance to talk to the president. The problem is time and time again, Trump has even said, like, he goes on shows where they say nice things about him. That's called propaganda. So we have an issue with conflating like what should be journalism when you have that opportunity versus like you're actually helping him, promote his agenda without realizing what you're doing. So that's kind of what happened. So.
Yeah. And so the way I viewed it was he interviewed Trump on Veterans Day, which in my opinion is a choice, as Trump has said terrible and disparaging things about military veterans, military service members.
And do you want to share a little bit about like your direct impact with that?
Yes. I mean, my dad served in the Navy for over 20 years. He went to military college. He immediately was in the Navy. He served, through, until I was born, then moved into more of the government, missile defense, DOD, which I guess is now the Department of War.
Yeah. That by the way,
is another story.
That's costing so much taxpayer money just to change the name too.
That's so for and then Pat McAfee was saying, well, why wouldn't I, interview the leader of the military on, Veterans Day? Well, that completely defeats the purpose. Trump has never served in the military. I actually saw that no Trump in America has ever served in the military, and this spans 5 generations. And then somehow Trump managed to dodge the draft 5 times by having his, doctor diagnose him with bone spurs.
Yeah, Captain Bone Spurs. Yeah.
And then, you're having, the man who's called veterans losers and suckers in the past for being prisoners of war. I mean, I had, John McCain, we all have feelings about, but, he was a prisoner of war in the Vietnam War.
Yes, there can be nuance, and you can understand. Yeah, there can be nuance. Like,
I don't necessarily think that anyone who's served in the military, willingly served to, protect this country and serve and protect, and then nonetheless been a prisoner of war. I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily believe that people are suckers or losers because they were, captured. But I think Pat McAfee is just, I think he says things to say things.
I'm glad you took that perspective, because for me, like, I think you said that so beautifully, like your connection to having, someone so close to you who served. For me, like my background in journalism, I think that was where my response came from, where it's like, when you have this opportunity and the world is hurting, the country is hurting, and you just don't have any journalistic integrity. And I think that's a huge problem in general, is a bunch of people are being platformed as journalists, or like they're filling roles of journalism without understanding the importance of that role. When you are interviewing a congressperson or you are interviewing a politician, your responsibility is to the public. It is not to the person you're interviewing. And I don't think like celebrities who are just doing it because they think it's cool and I'll get clicks and I'll get like that.
Everything's about clicks these days.
And that's just so much about these. That's what's failing too with journalism and just the social media infrastructure is it's about hot takes. It's like, that's all it's about.
Yeah, it's, rage baiting is a huge thing these days, because they know that if you're rage baiting, you're going to get like comments and clicks and, reshares or reposts or whatever. So it gets people talking, which,
And we also had some other celebrities in the news as well. Did you see what Pharrell said recently also?
Oh, yes. All I gotta say is just what a privilege it must be to say that you hate politics, you don't associate with politics. I believe his actual quote was, "I hate politics, I despise them. It's a magic trick. It's not real. I don't believe in either side, because if you're on either side, you're supporting division."
So what do you believe in? Like, that doesn't mean anything.
I guess he believes in magic.
It's like someone went to ChatGPT and typed, make a like deep philosophical statement about politics that makes 0 sense, and spit it out. And that's what he said. It's like, guys, politics are your value system. So is he just saying,
he's saying that he doesn't believe in anything, and he doesn't, Healthcare costs, don't care. Rising, cost of housing in the housing crisis, not my problem. I have a house, so doesn't affect me.
And I think too, Heather, where we're in alignment on is like, and I think a lot of people are opening up to this, is these people are just in entirely different worlds than us. And guys, they don't care. And like most of them don't care in like maybe in a surface level way, some of them do, but like not in a way where they care about our lives being better. Fundamentally.
No, absolutely not.
Because
they care about how they're going to make more money off of us.
Right. And they have to keep, like, that's why they have publicists and stuff, guys. They have to keep their image a certain way so they can reach as many people as possible in their mind so they can keep that money train going. So we even had, like, Heather, I don't know if you saw this, but like Bill Burr, like a big like person in progressive media, but then he went to like Saudi Arabia and took like Saudi cash and did like, and it's like, what? Do you not have enough money? Like you need more. And like, what is your actual value system? Because it looks like money is your value system. And Snoop Dogg take like, it just like.
I know. I mean, Beyonce's performed in, Dubai for, I don't know, bajillionaires.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And then we have Nicki Minaj now going to speak as like a political prop, having no idea what she's taught. Like
I literally had to Google. I was like, what is Nicki Minaj defending when she was literally defending her like this husband?
She doesn't know what she's defending. Like she doesn't like she's reading off paper, not
Christians
really.
in Nigeria. That was Christianity in Nigeria. That's I couldn't even.
Yeah.
Sure. Was there no one else available?
We've just like stopped caring about expertise, right? Like I want someone going to Nigeria who's like has diplomatic relationships has traveled there, knows the interworking of the political infrastructure there. Not some celebrity
beefing with Cardi B like a month ago.
Yeah, I don't need.
She took time out of her busy schedule with beefing with Cardi B to go to Nigeria.
I don't
speak on Nigeria.
I don't need her singing like the singer of super bass. Like that's not relevant to like, it's just, we're not taking anything seriously. No. Like, okay, just do, and then I want us to finish with a celebrity, us both. We both do, love is too far. We enjoy her work usually. And that is Taylor Swift. So where are you currently at right now with T Swift? And I know this is hard for you. I know this is.
I mean, little background disclaimer. I have been a Taylor Swift fan literally since 2006 when I heard Teardrops on My Guitar. And as a 13-year-old, I thought, my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. She's so in love with Drew. And he just like walks right by her.
And then White Horse came next and it was just
I got all the albums, I decoded all the lyrics and, when she used to, hid secret messages. So I am, we went to the Eras tour, which, was an 8-hour feat trying to get tickets for. So like I was in the trenches. So I think, it was very clear when Tortured Poets came out that, she's releasing multiple variants of her album. Like every single day it's, get this variant, only available for 24 hours. And yes, you don't have to buy them. But there are people that are going to buy every single one. And she's doing it, one, I mean, she's a billionaire, so she's got to stay a billionaire. But two, she's manipulating the charts.
Yeah.
That's how she's, getting, #1 album sales. And she's literally openly competing in rigging the system against other female artists, which that's a whole nother discussion. But I don't know, when her newest album came out, she, emphasized, and, said that this album was for the fans. It, she created it while in the Eras tour. She created it while falling in love with Travis. But upon listening to it, I mean, it seems like she hates her fans. Like, she's talking about like, stay out of my life, like stay out of my business, which fine. But if you're putting yourself in the public image, people are going to speculate about, your relationship, your friends.
It's part of like your social contract when you agree to be a public figure, right? Like when I agree to even do this podcast, obviously I'm not Taylor Swift, but like when I'm putting something out there in the public, you have to accept what comes with that. Like,
I mean, it's never been more clear that she realizes that she needs her obsessive fan base to, feed her pockets. But at the same time, she hates her obsessive fan base because they obsess over everything that she does and says.
Yeah.
Or what she doesn't say.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's kind of like at the casinos. Casinos make money off the obsessed, like the people who are addicted to gambling. They don't
Yeah.
make as much money on the people who will go with $20 just to rent, like, oh, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do the penny slots. So yeah,
and then
Go
you
ahead.
have, the Trump administration using her song in, some social media post, and she's crickets.
Right.
But then, they use an Olivia Rodrigo song, and Olivia is like firing back immediately, like, do not use, my music and your, hatred and your bigotry.
Right. I'm pretty much Heather with like Taylor's. I was there with you obviously at the concerts. I was a pretty big fan. I think her work objectively has gotten worse too. Like just the songs are worse.
Going from writing like All Too Well at 22, not even the 10-minute version, but just like.
No, that song is lyrically very like objective.
Yeah.
If you like, it is a very
and you
good,
call me up again just to break me like a promise. So casually cruel in the name of being honest.
Yeah.
To then just like, oh my God, Travis has a redwood like tree in his pants, and it like magically opens my thighs.
It's just
like,
no, that quote from
you're 36 years old.
Yeah, that quote from All Too Well is also my wife's favorite quote from there. It's so like that is.
I knew, well, your wife has great taste because that's literally my favorite song and my favorite line in said song.
Yeah, I am just at the stage with like celebrities in general. Like, if you're not doing things to help, please just stay out of the way. Like, I just don't. We're at such a critical time right now, and you guys have the platform and the wealth to actually do something. Whereas people like me,
Billie Eilish has been calling out billionaires left and right.
No, and to be clear, there are some like John Cena, for instance. I don't know him personally, so I always put caveats, but he has done so many Make-A-Wishes. It's insane. Like, there are some celebrities out there, guys, but they're a dime in a dozen.
Yeah, and I don't even care if they're terrible people, like, hiddenly, secretly. But like, if you're at least like openly doing something good for the
depends what they're doing.
Okay. Yes.
Be very careful.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, John Cena could have like voodoo dolls of like, his I don't know. I don't know who hates
that
John
what comes
Cena,
to mind when you think of evil people, voodoo people with voodoo dolls, just like.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of like Etsy witches lately. I don't know. My mind just went to like.
Oh God.
That
computer history. Cash Patel needs to look you up and see what's going on.
I mean, I think he's got bigger things to pretend don't exist.
Are we like in a simulation now? Like, are we all just
and
like this isn't real life anymore?
No, I think we're like in a Mad Libs. Yeah.
Someone's like.
Yeah. There was one yesterday. Keith Urban covers Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club at a Mar-a-Lago party attended by Donald Trump. I was like, this man goes from being married to Nicole Kidman to covering Chapel Roan.
I am so glad we're able at the end of this to finish on a laughing note, because if we didn't laugh, we would just cry. We would just be on this podcast. We would cry for an hour, and then that would, we may cry after this. That's okay, but at least
if you just think of everything as a Mad Lib, it makes more sense. Like someone is controlling like the narrative, like random artist Keith Urban.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Kid Rock, right? Bud Light, Machine Gun. Yeah, just like just random stuff. All right. Well, that wraps up our 5 stories. I hope you guys enjoyed this format, and thank you, Heather, for joining. I always appreciate. We talk a lot off air, so I just like bringing our conversations to the public. I think it's valuable. So we're gonna finish with our vibes, our songs of the day. So, what, Heather, are you gonna be listening to tonight?
Lately, I've been obsessed with Go-Go Juice by Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay.
It is so fun to just like dance around your apartment too. And then my favorite song to listen to in the car right now is Sports Car by Tate McRae. I don't know. You just have to like trust the vibes. It's she's kind of a whisper singer, but like it's a good song to drive to.
I've reached full unk status, so I don't know what in the world that was, but I will be going back. I would be doing Wiz Khalifa. I've been kind of doing those vibes recently, and I'm going to do Say Yeah. Thank you for watching and being part of a growing progressive community. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have the time, check out some of my other episodes you can see around me. Thank you.